Please come to order. Today is Tuesday, August 20th, 2024, and this is the 21st regular meeting of the current term of the Metropolitan Council of Nashville and Davidson County. Will all members of the council, as well as the public, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. The invocation is being offered this evening by Mr. Henry Cervantes Cruz. Mr. Cervantes Cruz is a senior at Stratford STEM Magnet High School and a board member and program participant with local nonprofit Southern Word, who share that through words, all youth can claim the power and hope to determine their future. Mr. Cervantes Cruz is the guest of District 16 Council member Jenny Welsh. Welcome and go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
I'm not going to talk about my feelings. When you ask me how I'm doing, I return the question. How are you doing today? How can I make it better? You can lean on me whenever. My mama asked me last Saturday if I'm okay. I wanted to deny her worries, but the words, it got caught in my throat, and all I could manage was a meager, all right. I never wanted to worry her. My dad, he told me to get closer to God, said he'll fix everything. And I reminded him my problems involved a pre-calculus test and studying. I thought God wouldn't give a second to that with so much evil in the world. My mama told me that somewhere someone has it worse. So I coupled that my stress must be meager. If someone has it worse, this should be easy, right? My dad told me that I'm like him, and it made me mad because he's a stone, unmoving from his past traumas flowing around him, stubborn as a mule. And I'm not like him, at least I think. I'm not going to talk about my feelings. So what if it makes me feel like I'm on an isolated island with no one to talk to or no shoulder to cry on? I'm not going to talk about my feelings. So what if it makes me feel like trash, left out on the curb too long, realizing it's worth that seems low because no one wants to come pick me up. I'm not going to talk about my feelings. So what if it leads to internal panicking? I felt my breath being lost and my lungs on fire from exertion. But it was all internal, so I'm all good. I'm not going to talk about my feelings because whenever I do, my faults, they seem more noticeable. My insecurities, they run to my core and crack it into 1,000 pieces. But I've already said I'm fine before. Now then, earlier today, my little brother, he hugged me. And his hugs, they told me, they said to me that I should love myself more.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Cervantes Cruz, for your spoken word, and thank you to Southern Word as well. You may all be seated. Council members, you will have received my first newsletter to and for you, sharing various updates in the council office and support services for your work. That was yesterday, so please be sure to review that. And a special thank you to all our staff for helping to implement those updates with more on the way soon. So thank you, staff. In that newsletter and on your desks is information from Information Technology Services, aka ITS, about a whole host of services that they can help council members with. So if you were unable to attend today's open office hours with them in the council office, you can always call ITS directly, or council staff can help you make an individual appointment. Council members have an immense amount of information to manage, including hundreds of emails a week. So please do avail yourself of those tools proactively. And a special thank you to the ITS team for joining us in the office today, and for all their ongoing support of this and all our meetings. When we meet again in September, we will have some new committee leadership and some returning leadership. But to all the current chairs, especially in this transitional first year, I want to thank them for their service and their extra work. Every chair has kindly drafted a transition memo to ensure continuity for any leadership change, and every committee now has a SharePoint drive for committee-associated documents. So we hope both of these will help us build and retain institutional memory for the 3 years of policy and oversight work ahead and for the years beyond. Okay, next on to the roll call. Without objection, we will suspend the calling of the roll and ask the clerk to record the names of the members present throughout the meeting. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes of August 6, 2024? Okay, with a motion and a second, without objection, the minutes of the meeting of October 6th are approved. Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the mayor?
There are no messages from the mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clerk. Okay, moving into section E of our agenda, appointees and nominees. This portion of the agenda shares all persons that were scheduled to appear before the Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee this evening. Re-referrals back to the committee will be by rule as part of the council's new 2-meeting process for all elections and confirmations. So no votes will be taken by the body in this section of the agenda other than for deferrals. Chair Sepulveda, committee report, please. First, for any withdrawals and or deferrals.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We had one withdrawal. This was for Jerry Pentecost for the Auditorium Commission.
Okay.
And then for
John?
Social Services Commission appointment of Charlotte Peacock, she was deferred 1 meeting. And with that, I would move to defer 1 meeting.
Okay, is there a second for the motion to defer? Is there any discussion on that deferral motion? All in favor, please say aye. Okay, Ms. Charlotte Peacock is deferred for this first consideration till the next meeting. Okay, next, Chair Sepulveda, a very brief summary report on persons on this agenda who were interviewed by your committee this evening and will be referred back to your committee for confirmation consideration on September 3rd, please.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. For the Arts Commission appointment of Ms. Khalil, for the Arts Commission appointment of Sean Knight, for the Farmers Market appointment of Patricia Tarquino, for the Hospital Authority appointment of David Esquivel, for the for the Tourism and Convention Commission appointment of Dr. Sybil Brown, and for the Tourism and Convention Commission appointment of Derek Free, we recommended re-referral.
Okay. All right. Again, those will be re-referred by rule, with the exception of the withdrawal of Mr. Pentecost and the deferral of Ms. Peacock. Okay. Next, moving into section F, confirmations. Let's see. Chair Sepulveda, you're recognized again for your committee report on the appointees in the second step of your committee's 2-meeting process. First, for deferrals, if there are any, please.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. For the Hospital Authority Board appointment of Dr. Nettles, we voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting for a 1 meeting deferral. And with that, I would move for a 1 meeting deferral.
Is there a second? Okay, is there any discussion on the 1 meeting deferral motion for Dr. Ari Nettles to the Hospital Authority Board? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of a 1 meeting deferral, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, so that is deferred. Okay, and then next, Chair Sepulveda, all those who received just a unanimous vote and/or if, I guess just your remaining committee report then, please.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. For the Benefit Board appointment of Christy Pruitt-Hayes for a term expiring on June 30, 2027, rules voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. For the Electric Power Board reappointment of Clifton Harris for a term expiring on July 1st, 2029, rules voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. For the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board appointment of Julie Caputo for a term expiring on August 10, 2028, rules voted 3 in favor, 0 against, 1 not voting. For the Sports Authority Board appointment of Victoria Crawford for a term expiring on February 17, 2028, rules voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. For the Sports Authority appointment of Russell Pooley for a term expiring on February 19, 2026, rules voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. With that, I would move for approval.
Okay, so Chair Sepulveda, I think that will be a motion for approval for all those accepting F4 regarding the Short-Term Rentals Appeals Board, which had 1 abstention.
So
Is that okay? Is there a second for Chair Sepulveda's consolidated motion? Okay. So this includes all folks in section F with the exception of F4 regarding the Short-Term Rentals Appeal Board. Properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this consolidated motion? Okay, anybody seeking to remove anybody from the consolidated motion or be recorded as abstention? Okay, I think I already asked for discussion. Right? Any? No? Okay. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay. All right. So now then we are back to item F4. If you will recall, Chair Sepulveda shared there was a vote of 3-0 and 1 abstention. Chair Sepulveda, do you care to make a motion on that item, please?
Move for approval.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay, there's a motion to approve, properly seconded. Is there any discussion on the appointment of Julie Caputo to the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board for a term expiring August 10th, 2028? Okay, Mr. Horton, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I have to vote against this nominee. I'm concerned with the decision-making process the nominee is displayed in her current term as member of the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board. There's been several instances in which she's used subjective rather than objective criteria, rather than be dispassionate about the matters before the board, and I think created the risk of perception among appellants before the board as well as the public that similar cases are being decided dissimilarly. So I'll have to vote against her, unfortunately.
Okay. Chair Parker, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I want to rise in support of Ms. Caputo's reappointment to the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board. I've been serving on this board since its inception, I believe, as the council's elected representative. I believe that Ms. Caputo has served those 3-ish years as the chair of that board in that time, and I've appreciated her leadership. I do know that we at times deal with sensitive or personal matters. Often a question comes before the board of where does someone live, where are they spending their time as it relates to a claim of owner occupancy, and I understand that those deliberations and considerations can be very sensitive. We would prefer not to discuss those matters, but where someone spends their time is relevant and pertinent to a discussion about a claim of occupancy, a disputed claim of occupancy. So I understand the concerns, but I think Ms. Caputo has done an excellent job in this role, and I'll be voting to reappoint her. I would urge my colleagues to do the same.
Thank you, Chair Parker. Is anyone else seeking discussion on item F4 regarding the short-term rental appeals board? Okay. This requires 21 votes, so we're going to try it by voice first. And we can record abstentions and noes as necessary. All in favor of the appointment of Ms. Julie Caputo, please say aye.
Aye.
Any voting no? Any abstaining? Okay. Colleagues, I think we need to go on the board. I do apologize. Just hard to kind of ascertain the number of the volume of no's. So, Mr. Clerk, if you would please open the machine for item F4. All the votes are in. Mr. Clerk, please show the vote. Okay, Council, you have confirmed Ms. Julie Caputo back to the Short-Term Rentals Appeal Board. If you were just confirmed this evening and returned to join us in chambers, which is optional, please do stand to be recognized when you hear your name called as I read all the names of those confirmed. To the Benefit Board, Council has confirmed Ms. Christy Pruitt-Hayes. To the Electric Power Board, Council has reappointed Clifton Harris. Again, the Short-Term Rentals Appeals Board, the reappointment of Ms. Julie Caputo. To the Sports Authority Board, Ms. Victoria Crawford. And also to the Sports Authority Board, former council member, the Honorable Russ Pulley. Please stand. Thank you. We are grateful to everyone, whether in chambers or watching from home, for their willingness to serve our city. Thank you. Okay, next we're moving right into section G, nominations. Council members will recall, as I shared via both an emailed and hand-delivered memo on August 5th and 6th, there is one vacancy each on the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board and the Property Standards Appeals Board. Council members will be called upon at this meeting to make nominations to fill these vacancies. First, please, for the Short-Term Rentals Appeal Board. If you would please enter the queue to make a nomination. Okay, Ms. Evans, go ahead.
Thank you. I'd like to nominate Anthony Ingram.
Okay, Ms. Evans has nominated Anthony Ingram. Ms. Webb, you are recognized regarding the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board.
I would like to nominate Zach Deacons.
Okay, Ms. Webb has nominated Zach Deacons. Ms. Vo, go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate Raymond Simmons.
Ms. Vo has nominated Raymond Simmons. Okay, are there any other nominations for the Short-Term Rental Appeals Board? Seeing none, we will move on then to the Property Standards and Appeals Board. If you have a nomination, please enter the queue. Ms. Toombs, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate Quinta Martin.
Okay, Ms. Toombs has nominated Quinta Martin. Okay, Mr. Huffman, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to nominate John Bennett.
Okay, Mr. Huffman has nominated John Bennett. Okay, Ms. Webb for the Property Standards and Appeals Board.
I would like to nominate Jayla Thomas.
Okay, Ms. Webb has nominated Jayla Thomas. Thank you, Ms. Webb. Okay, are there any other nominees for the Property Standards and Appeals Board? Okay, if you will please be in touch with Mr. Clerk with exact spellings and contacts and so forth so that he can initiate the process for your nominees. Thank you, council members. Okay, moving into the public comment sign-up period. There are no sign-ups for public comment. So we will be moving right on into section I. I guess I should perhaps share for the public's awareness that they can sign up for public comment at council meetings beginning at 5 p.m. and at 6 p.m. on the days of the meetings, and that is typically 20 minutes, but that is 20 minutes saved this evening. So, okay, now moving into section I, we have one resolution on public hearing. Let's see. Spanish interpretation services are provided for all Metro Council public hearings. This evening, Karina Valdez from our council staff team is kindly here as the interpreter. Ms. Valdez, will you please share how you can help?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Karina y seré la intérprete para esta audiencia pública. Gracias.
Thank you, Ms. Valdez. We appreciate you. Okay. The first item is Resolution 2024-646, sponsor Parker. This is a resolution exempting Music City Euros Hunters Station, located at 975 Main Street, Suite 103, from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a beer permit pursuant to Section 7.0809E of the Metropolitan Code. Mr. Parker, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Should I get committee reports first?
You may, sure. Chair Bradford, do you have a committee report on this, please, sir?
I sure do. We voted in favor 7-0-0.
Okay, thank you. Back to you, Mr. Parker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to open the public hearing.
Okay, I declare the public hearing open. Will all those here in support of this measure please raise their hands? Will all those here in opposition to this measure please raise your hands? Seeing no one here in opposition, does the gentleman who sort of raised his hand in favor seek to speak? Okay. With that, I declare the public hearing closed, and it's back to you, Mr. Parker.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'd like to move for approval with a brief comment.
Okay. Seconded. Go ahead, sir.
So this is for a new Euro restaurant at Hunter Station. Really excited to welcome them to the neighborhood. And if y'all haven't visited Hunter Station in some time, please come on down and check them out.
Okay. Alrighty. There is a motion properly seconded for approval. Is there any further discussion on this matter? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any voting no or abstaining? Okay. This has passed. It's public hearing. All right. Next, we're moving into our consolidated consent agenda. All resolutions and second and third reading ordinances on this agenda are included on the consent agenda if recommended for approval unanimously by all the committees to which the item was referred. Items on the consent agenda will be voted on at a single time. The item number, along with the resolution and the ordinance number of the items on the consent agenda will be read by me so that the viewing public here in attendance and at home can be aware of what is on our consent agenda. Members of the council may remove any item from the consent agenda by request before the consent agenda vote is taken. Okay. The first resolution recommended for consent is Resolution 2024-608. Next is Agenda Item 3, Resolution 2024-647. Agenda Item 4, Resolution 2024-648. Agenda Item 5, Resolution 2024-649. Agenda Item 6, Resolution 2024-650. Agenda Item 7, Resolution 2024-651. Agenda Item 8, Resolution 2024-652. Agenda Item 9, Resolution 2024-653. Agenda Item 10, Resolution 2024-654. Agenda Item 11, Resolution 2024-655. Agenda Item 12, Resolution 2024-656. Agenda Item 13, Resolution 2024-657. Agenda Item 14, Resolution 2024-658. Agenda Item 15, Resolution 2024-659. Agenda Item 16, Resolution 2024-660. Agenda Item 17, Resolution 2024-661. Agenda Item 18, Resolution 2024-662. Agenda Item 19, Resolution 2024-663. Agenda Item 20, Resolution 2024-664. Agenda Item 21, Resolution 2024-665. Agenda Item 22, Resolution 2024-666. Agenda Item 23, Resolution 2024-667. Agenda Item 25, Resolution 2024-669. Agenda Item 26, Resolution 2024-670. Agenda Item 27, Resolution 2024-671. Agenda Item 28, Resolution 2024-672. Agenda Item 29, Resolution 2024-673. Agenda Item 30, Resolution 2024-647. Agenda item 31, Resolution 2024-675. Agenda item 32, Resolution 2024-676. Agenda item 33, Resolution 2024-677. Agenda item 34, Resolution 2024-678. Agenda item 35, Resolution 2024-679. Agenda item 36, Resolution 2024-680. Agenda item 37, Resolution 2024-681. Agenda item 38, Resolution 2024-682. And now on to second reading for items recommended for consent. First among them, agenda item 57, ordinance BL 2024-479. Agenda item 58, ordinance BL 2024-480. Agenda item 60, ordinance BL 2024-482. Agenda item 61, ordinance BL 2024-495. Okay, now on to items recommended for consent on third reading. First among those, agenda item 64, ordinance BL 2023-58. Agenda item 65, ordinance BL 2023-59. Agenda item 66, ordinance BL 2024-423. Agenda item 67, ordinance BL 2024-423. Or rather, 426. My apologies. Okay. Agenda item 71, ordinance BL 2024-450. Agenda item 72, ordinance BL 2024-451. Agenda item 74, ordinance BL 2024-453. Agenda item 75, ordinance BL 2024-454. And its companion, agenda item 76, ordinance BL 2024-455. Agenda item 77, ordinance BL 2024-456. Agenda item 78, ordinance BL 2024-457. Agenda item 79, ordinance BL 2024-458. And its companion, agenda item 80, ordinance BL 2024-459. Agenda item 81, ordinance BL 2024-460. Agenda item 82, ordinance BL 2024-461. Agenda item 83, ordinance BL 2024-462. Agenda item 84, ordinance BL 2024-463. Agenda item 85, ordinance BL 2024-464. Agenda item 86, ordinance BL 2024-465. Agenda item 87, ordinance BL 2024-466. Agenda item 89, ordinance BL 2024-470. Agenda item 90, ordinance BL 2024-471. Agenda item 91, ordinance BL 2024-472. Agenda item 92, ordinance BL 2024-473. Agenda item 93, ordinance BL 2024-474. And agenda item 94, ordinance BL 2024-475, which is the last item on our agenda, and we're under 100 items this evening. Okay. So now we will move in well, first, are there any members who are seeking to move something from the consent agenda? Okay. Ms. Gadd, you are recognized.
Yeah, I need to remove item number 2, RS 2024-608.
Okay. Okay, item 2, resolution 2024-608, sponsor Gadd, will be removed from consent. Okay, Ms. Swara, Pro Tem Swara, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Item number 7.
Okay, resolution 2024.
651.
651.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will be removed from consent. Ms. Porterfield, Chair, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I would like to remove item number 35, RS 2024-679.
Okay. Agenda item 35, RS 2024-679, will be removed from consent. Ms. Vo, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Can I remove agenda item 37, RS 2024-681, please?
Okay. Agenda item 37, RS 2024-681, will be removed from consent. Okay. Are any other members seeking to remove items from the consolidated consent agenda? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into committee reports. Yes, sir, Mr. Harrell, if just for a minute, if we could just, I will acknowledge you in just a second. Say again, Margaret. Okay. Okay, item 88, colleagues, ordinance BL 2024-467 was indeed recommended for consent. Okay, Mr. Harrell, do you still seek to be recognized? Go ahead, sir.
I would like to remove BL 2024-458 and 459.
Okay, are those on second reading, sir, or?
No, that's third reading consent.
Okay, so third reading. Hang on for me just a second. Mr. Harrell, can you please state those again, sir?
BL 2024 458 and BL 2024 459.
Okay, so those are agenda items 79 and 80. Okay. Will be removed from consent. Okay. Any other members seeking to remove an item from consent? Okay. All right, now we will go on to committee reports. Okay. So first among those is Budget and Finance Chair Porterfield. You're recognized for your committee report, please.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Budget and Finance considered the following items. RS 2024, 647, 48, 49, 50, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 66, 667, 671, 672, 678. All passed 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And were BL 2024, 466 and 479 also on consent?
479 was recommended for consent.
11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. And apologize, also on third reading, BL 2024 466. Yes, ma'am.
11
Yep.
in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Okay. Next, for Arts, Parks, and Libraries, Chair Stiles, you're recognized. Your committee report.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. We heard RS 2024 657, 658, 659, and 660 passed, forgive me, 657, 658, and 659 passed in favor 5, in favor 0 against. Then 660 passed 6 in favor, 0 against. And then BL 2024 476 was deferred 1 meeting, 8 in favor, 0 against.
Do you mean 479?
No, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
That was not on consent. 479, yes, passed, 8 in favor, 0 against.
Okay, and I apologize. Did you say something about a deferral? No. What?
That was for a bill that's not on consent. Sorry.
Okay, understood. Okay, so 8 in favor, 0 against on 479.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Okay, next to Government Operations and Regulations, Chair Bradford for your committee report, sir.
For RS 2024 650, voted 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Bills on second reading, BL 2024 495, we are voted to approve, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And bills on third reading, BL 2024 467, voted in favor, 8 for, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Okay, and next for the report of the Planning and Zoning Committee, Chair Gamble, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning considered resolutions RS 2024 649, 668, 670, 672, 673, 674, 675, 676, 677. Voted in favor, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Bills on second reading consent, Planning and Zoning considered Bill 2024 480, 482, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Bills on third reading consent, Planning and Zoning considered BL 2023 BL 2023-58, 59, BL 2024-423, 449, 450, 451, 453, 454, 455, 456, 457, 460, 461, 462, 463, 464, 465, 466, and 467. Voted 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, thank you, Chair Gamble. And then for the last committee report, Chair Parker for Transportation and Infrastructure. You're recognized, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. We got a page 2 on here. Okay, go ahead. Chair Evans
Hey, you. Go
for
ahead.
Public Health and Safety. Page 2, these pesky staples. Go ahead, please, Chair.
Thank you. So Public Health and Safety only heard resolutions.
Okay.
And everything that we heard was approved, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. We heard item RS 2024-648, 652, 653, 654, 655, 656, 661, 662, 663, 664, and 665.
Okay.
And everything was 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Thank you very much, Chair. Okay. Next to rules, confirmations, and public elections first. Chair
Sit down.
Sepulveda, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Rules heard and considered RS 2024-647, 680, and 682. We voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. Thank you. Now, Chair Parker, for Transportation and Infrastructure. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Transportation and Infrastructure considered resolutions 2024-666, 667, and 669 through 677. Recommended approval of all of those, 8 in favor and 0 against. And bills on second reading, we considered BL 2024-480 and 482. And on those, we also recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against. And with all committee reports in, I will move the consolidated consent agenda.
Thank you, Chair. Properly moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on the consolidated consent agenda? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, you have passed all items on the consent agenda. So now we will go back to first resolutions that were not on consent. And first among those is Agenda Item 2, Resolution 2024-608, sponsors Gadd, Allen, Coopin, Porterfield, Evans, Welsh, Weiner, Swara, Benedict, Ewing, Webb, Hill, Gamble, Stiles, Cash, Johnston, Lee, Vo, Spain, and Toombs. This is a resolution expressing the Metropolitan Council's support of the January 2025 Athletes Unlimited Pro Basketball season at Nashville Municipal Auditorium. Go ahead, Ms. Gadd, you're recognized.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. I want to ask for one more deferral to defer this to the September 3rd meeting as we continue to finalize contract details.
Okay. Is there a second for that motion? Okay. Ms. Gadd has moved to defer this to the first meeting of September. Is there any discussion on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this is deferred one meeting. Next is Agenda Item 7, Resolution 2024-651, sponsors Porterfield, Evans, Welsh, Evans, Siegel, and Swara. This is a resolution accepting a viral hepatitis program services grant from the Tennessee Department of Health to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Health to implement and coordinate activities and services related to the prevention, testing, diagnosis, surveillance, and linkage to treatment and other support services for individuals infected with viral hepatitis. arthritis. Ms. Porterfield, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, Budget and Finance considered this item and passed 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. Chair Evans for Public Health and Safety.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We heard this item and recommended approval, 10 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. All right, it's back to you, Chair, for a motion.
Move for approval.
Is there, okay, there's a motion and a second, properly seconded. Is there any discussion on this item? Okay, Pro Tem Suara, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. I'm in full support of the grants, and because it's money, we did not delay it in budget yesterday, but we had some lingering questions that we're supposed to receive email for, which I haven't received, so that's the reason why I pulled it. So I don't know if the administration will be able to answer the questions.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to recognize Mr. Rosenberg for the administration. Go ahead, sir.
And so the question, to reiterate, is that when looking at the details of the grant, it starts from July 2023 to 2025. The money is split into 200,000 for FY24, 100,000 for FY25. And so my question to the health department is, number one, why are we just getting it now if this is just FY25? Are we going to be able to get all the money, even though we're getting it late? And if it's not for FY25, I just want to know the dateline and what all that means.
Okay, you are recognized, Mr. Rosenberg.
Thank you, Madam President, Madam Pro Tem. So the money we're accepting is for both fiscal years, FY24 and FY25. It's a delayed transfer from the state for reasons beyond Metro's control. It's just coming to us late. It's not our doing, but we're getting money for both fiscal years, be allocated over both. And while we're here, we would anticipate there are going to be another 3 or 4 of these delayed acceptances that act in the same manner as a result of the way things are coming to us. So, thank you.
Is there a follow-up question, Ms.
Yes.
Suara? And if you direct it to the chair, please. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am,
That's
Chair.
okay. Yeah. I know you're so close. You're
I'm looking at
so
him.
close up there. Yeah.
So no worries. I guess the other question that I have, and it doesn't matter if you don't have the answer, is that if it starts 2023, is this where we've already started the work in 23 and we're being paid retroactively, or the grant is just starting now?
Yes, we basically, sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, Mr. Rosenberg.
Thank you,
All
Madam
good.
President. Yes, we basically fronted the money knowing that this was going to be coming. So we've already been doing the work. Thank you.
Is that everything, Ms. Suara? Okay, all righty. Colleagues, you've heard the discussion and the answers from the administration. Is anyone else seeking discussion on this item? Okay, seeing none, there's a motion to approve, properly seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this resolution has passed. All right, next. Is agenda item 24, resolution 2024-668. And is that correct? Okay, yep. Sponsors Coupin, Gamble, Parker. This is a resolution approving a participation agreement between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County through the Nashville Department of Transportation and Multimodal Infrastructure, aka NDOT, and CBR 300 2nd Avenue LLC for reconstruction of a sidewalk located at and between the intersections of 2nd Avenue South and Korean Veterans Boulevard and 2nd Avenue South and Malloy Street. Mr. Coupin, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to get committee reports, please.
Okay, sir. Let's see. Planning and zoning. Chair Gamble, you're
Sorry,
recognized on
that's me.
Mr. Coupin's resolution 668 regarding 2nd Avenue.
Thank you. Planning and zoning considers 668. We considered the substitute first, and the substitute was approved, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Then we took the bill as substituted, recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see, as well, Transportation and Infrastructure. Chair Parker, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Transportation and Infrastructure considered the sponsor's substitute, recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against. Then we considered the bill, or the resolution rather, as substituted, also recommending approval, 8 in favor and 0 against.
Okay. And Chair Porterfield, a committee report on this as well, please, ma'am. 668, sponsor Coupon regarding 2nd Avenue.
Thank you. BL 2024-468, Budget and Finance considered a 1 meeting deferral, and that passed 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay.
I'm seeing
Wait,
some
no, I think
handshakes
no,
For 668?
668.
I'm sorry, I was looking at
I heard
468.
but I thought
My
that
apologies.
was from 2024. And
My
that was just
apologies.
misspoken.
668.
Okay.
It was 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting for the substitute, and then 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting for the bill as substituted.
Okay. Okay. No worries, Mr. Coupon. All good.
Sorry, I didn't mean to give you a heart attack.
No, that's okay. All right. So it's back to you for a motion to get the bill before us, Mr. Coupon.
Thank you. I would like to move the bill.
Okay. There's a motion to approve. Is there a second? Okay. The bill is before us. It's back to
Would
you.
like to move the substitute.
Okay. Properly moved and seconded. Do you want to share? This is just housekeeping or what?
Yeah, this is, thank you, Madam President. This is a just housekeeping bill, cleaning up a couple typographical changes.
Okay. Is there any discussion on the motion to substitute? Okay. All in favor of the substitute, please say aye.
Aye.
Any voting no or abstaining? Okay. So we're back to you for a motion on your bill as substituted, Mr.
Thank you.
Coupon.
Move bill as substituted, please.
Is there a second? Okay, properly moved, properly seconded for BL 2024-668, or rather resolution as substituted. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this resolution has passed as substituted. Okay. Next is Agenda Item 35, Resolution 2024-679. Sponsors Porterfield, Stiles, Evans, Siegel, Nash, Coupon, Hancock, Cortez, Huffman, Rutherford, Parker, Swara, Benedict, Lee, Gadd, Welsh, Vo, Evans, Gamble, Weiner, Ewing, Allen, Cap, Toombs, Eastlick, Druffel, Bradford, Spain, and Taylor, and is a resolution congratulating the 5 Nashville-related Olympians for their achievements at the 2024 Summer Olympics in Paris. Ms. Porterfield, you are recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports.
Okay, Chair Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Rules voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, back to you, Ms. Porterfield, for a motion.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Move for approval with a brief explanation.
Is there a second? Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
We in Nashville are so excited and proud of the 5 athletes who have ties to Nashville and Davidson County who competed just at the height of their individual sports for the 2024 Summer Olympic Games in Paris. And we just wanted to thank Gretchen Walsh, Lily Williams, Veronica Friendly, Alex Walsh, and Walker Zimmerman, who each successfully competed in the games and represented Team USA. There may be some individual resolutions coming later on to acknowledge some of our Nashvillians that competed, but this resolution is just thanking them and honoring them for their service.
Appreciate that. Okay, is there any further discussion on this resolution? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Okay, any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this resolution has passed. Agenda Item 37, Resolution 2024-681, sponsors Vo, Evans, Siegel, and Swara. This is a resolution recognizing July 18th through August 17th, 2024 as South Asian Heritage Month in Nashville and Davidson County. Ms. Vo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee report, please.
Okay, Chair Sepulveda.
Rules voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. Right, Ms. Pulvitt, it's back to you, or rather, Ms. Vo, it's back to you for a motion on your bill.
I move for approval with a brief comment.
Okay, properly seconded. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Really, I just want to make sure that we acknowledge and celebrate South Asian Heritage Month here in Nashville and Davidson County. It's so exciting because, about a third of our Asian Pacific Islander community is made up of South Asians. And it gives us an opportunity to reflect on our diverse community and our South Asian neighbors whose origins span across Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, the Maldives, Nepal, Pakistan, and Sri Lanka. And I just want to make sure, we acknowledge them. And even though it's not officially recognized in the United States, I'm very proud that in our city and in our county, we are recognizing it. And then also that our mayor officially proclaimed August 10th as Indian Cultural Heritage Day. And that August 15th is Indian Independence Day. So I really want to lift up that, educate our broader community, and especially in light of what happened recently in India with women's rights. And so there will be a vigil honoring women in India and against violence against them. So that will be happening on August 24th. So I just want to make sure we come together and honor our South Asian community, understand the history, and celebrate their contributions. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Vo. Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Okay, Mr. Prep-T, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I rise in support of this resolution and wanted to thank the Honorable Councilmember Terry Vo for bringing this resolution and for ensuring that we have adequate representation across the city. We have an incredibly historic council here with, for the first time, a majority of women, Councilmember Vo being the first Vietnamese American elected to council, myself as the first Asian American elected to council. So I just wanted to rise in support. Thank Councilmember Vo for doing this and let her know that we'll be out showing support for everything that she's doing, ensuring that our city truly is representative of every single person who calls Davidson County home.
Thank you, Mr. Prep-T. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of this resolution, please say aye. Aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this resolution has passed. Okay, now we're moving on to items on second reading. First is Agenda Item 52, Ordinance BL 2024-411, sponsors Welsh and Vo. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, changing from RS5 to RM20 ANS zoning for... Oh, okay, y'all. I don't know what I was doing there. We need to go back to first reading because I just skipped ahead to second reading because I was just so excited things were moving so swiftly this evening. So let's not skip over that. It's a pretty small section. Thank you, Special Counsel Darby, for alerting me to that. And we will go back to Section L in our agenda, items and bills on first introduction and first reading. Okay, without objection, all items on first reading may be voted on at the same time, but I do know that we have some items that do need to be withdrawn, and those happen kind of in regular order. So first among those is Agenda Item 39, Ordinance BL 2024-496, sponsor Druffel, is an ordinance to amend Title II of the Metropolitan Code of Laws to create an Office of Youth Services. Mr. Druffel, you're recognized, sir.
Yeah, thanks so much. I just wanted to note that we're going to withdraw this. It needs a little bit more work, but I want to just very briefly say this is a potential impact on our youth and our kids in terms of we could probably produce 5,000 more opportunities for youth. So I'll bring this back in about a month, but I will withdraw.
Okay, the bill is withdrawn. Okay, Agenda Item 40, Ordinance BL 2024-497, sponsors Porterfield and Bradford, is an ordinance amending Title IV of the Metropolitan Code of Laws to allow construction, architectural, engineering, and other project-specific contracts to exceed 60 months based on the project completion date. Chair Porterfield, you are recognized.
Withdraw.
Thank you. The bill is withdrawn. Okay. Do any other items need to be pulled from first reading consideration? Okay, seeing none, items 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, on through to 51 can all be taken together. Is there a motion for approval of all these items on first consideration? Okay, properly moved and seconded, so without objection, you have approved all these remaining items on first reading. Okay, and now we will move on to items on second reading. Okay, agenda item 52, ordinance BL 2024-411. Again, sponsors Welsh and Vo. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of Metropolitan Government, Nashville and Davidson County, changing from RS5 to RM20 ANS zoning for property located at 231 Glen Rose Avenue, approximately 45 feet west of Burbank Avenue. This is 0.12 acres. Ms. Vo, you are recognized in lieu of sponsor Welsh. I know you've signed on to this bill, so go ahead, please, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
We just need a motion for approval.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Okay. There's a motion to approve, properly seconded. This bill had a public hearing already, and there will be no committee reports till 3rd. So is there any discussion on this bill? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this bill has passed second reading. Okay, let's see. Agenda item 53, ordinance BL 2024-468, sponsor Porterfield, is an ordinance amending Metropolitan Code of Laws 2.24.250. Ms. Porterfield, you're recognized on your bill and for your committee report.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee report, as I shared earlier accidentally.
Sorry.
BL 2024-468. The committee voted 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting for a 1 meeting deferral.
Okay, then by rule, colleagues, Rule 8.1, that is a mandatory 1 meeting deferral. So that will be deferred to the next meeting. Okay. Next is agenda item 54, ordinance BL 2024-476, sponsor Porterfield. This is an ordinance to amend chapter 2.112 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws regarding the membership of the Metropolitan Nashville Arts Commission and the process for approving the criteria for awarding funds. Ms. Porterfield, you're recognized again.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, Budget and Finance voted 11 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting for a 1 meeting deferral.
Okay, again, that is a Rule 8.1 deferral. That's a mandatory deferral by rule for 1 meeting. So this will be.
Do we need the other committee reports or no?
Oh, I apologize. Turning
Rules
the
and
page, I do apologize. Yes, thank you, Chair. Ms. Stiles, for your committee report for Arts, Parks, and Libraries, please, ma'am.
Yes, Vice Mayor, we voted 8 in favor, 0 against for a 1 meeting deferral.
Okay. And Chair Sepulveda for Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections.
We voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting for a 1 meeting deferral.
Okay. Now, with all committee reports in, that is still a Rule 8.1 deferral. Deferred 1 meeting. Okay. Now, agenda item 55, ordinance BL 2024-477, sponsors Evans, Rutherford, and Swara. This is an ordinance to amend section 2.222.040 regarding actions of the Board of Ethical Conduct. Ms. Evans, you are recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports, please.
Okay, Chair Sepulveda, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. We voted 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting on the amendment, and then 4 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting as amended.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Evans, it's back to you for a motion to get the bill before us.
Thank you. I'd like to move approval, please.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, properly.
Thank you very much. Just to give an overview of this legislation, so essentially the Board of Ethical Conduct had a person in front of their board, and they were unable to kind of make kind of a decision around next steps related to an issue that rose to the occasion of being a violation, but the outcomes or the remedy were too severe in their judgment, and they were trying to figure out how to move forward. And so this legislation provides more options for the Board of Ethical Conduct should they have an issue occur in front of their board again. There is an amendment, and so I need to move the amendment onto the legislation.
There's a motion to amend. Is there a second? Okay, back to you.
Thank you. So the amendment comes from Metro Legal, from one of the attorneys that works with the Board of Ethical Conduct. And basically, it provides the opportunity for a written notification to the vice mayor, to the council. And it's also not making it a requirement. It's just providing that additional path for that board to be able to communicate on the outcome or next steps of their resolution.
Okay, is there any discussion on the amendment in particular? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to amend, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, so we're back to you for a motion on your bill as amended.
Thank you. I'd like to move the bill as amended, please.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, is there any discussion on the bill as amended? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this has passed its second reading. Okay, next is agenda item 56, ordinance BL 2024-478, sponsor Allen. This is an ordinance to amend chapter 6.28 of the Metropolitan Code pertaining to short-term rental properties. Ms. Allen, you are recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam President, committee reports, please.
Okay. For government operations and regulations, Chair Bradford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Government operations, we voted 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting to defer.
Defer to when or?
Till the 1st of September, I believe.
October. No, October? October 1, I think.
That sounds right.
Okay. Okay, Chair. We had people watching. We recorded it. It's correct. All right. Thank you for that committee report. Back to you, Ms. Allen, for a motion on your bill.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to defer to October 1 with a brief explanation.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay. Back to you.
Thank you very much. This is a result of a task group that met for close to a year that included people from all different viewpoints and also from the zoning administrator's office as well. It's mostly tweaks at this point. We made some changes to the website at that time. This does require a public hearing, and so that will need to be properly noticed. So that puts us to October 1, which leaves time for people to provide input now that the bill is out there, and I would welcome any input that people have. So with that, I renew my motion to defer to October 1.
Okay. You've heard Ms. Allen's motion to defer to October 1st, and it has been properly seconded. Is there any discussion on that deferral motion? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor of the deferral, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this is deferred to the meeting of October 1st, at which time it will have a public hearing. Okay, agenda item 59, ordinance BL 2024-481 is sponsor Stiles, Gamble, and Parker. This is an ordinance authorizing the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County to abandon existing public water main and easement and to accept new public water main and easement for property located at 4,230 Century Farms Terrace. Okay, Ms. Stiles, it's to you on your bill.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. I have a substitute on.
You first
this.
need to request your committee reports, please.
Committee
ma'am.
reports, please.
Okay. Chair Gamble, you're recognized, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning considered an amendment introduced by the sponsor, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting, and then voted on the bill as amended, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. Chair Parker for Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Transportation and Infrastructure considered the sponsor's amendment, recommended approval, 8 in favor, 0 against. And on the bill as amended, we also recommended approval, 8 in favor and 0 against.
Okay. Now it's back to you, Ms. Stiles, for a motion to get the bill before us first, please, ma'am.
I would like to move for approval. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. There's a motion to approve, properly seconded, and it's back to you.
Okay, now I'd like to move the substitute on there. Could I give a brief explanation?
Yes, you can explain the bill generally, or you can move to amend your bill and explain the amendment.
I'd like to move to amend the bill and explain the amendment, please.
Go ahead, ma'am. Is there a second on the motion to amend? Okay, go ahead.
This is cleaning this up, so instead of it coming through as an ordinance for any future changes, it would come through as a resolution instead.
Okay?
Yes.
Appreciate that explanation of the amendment. Is there any discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay. Ms. Stiles, we're back to you for a motion on your bill as amended.
I'd like to move for approval, please.
Okay. Properly moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve as amended? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this has passed second reading as amended. Okay, now we are moving into third reading ordinances. Okay, agenda item 62, ordinance BL 2023-56, sponsor Rutherford, is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from AR to A and SP to SP zoning on properties located at 6419, 6423, 6431 Pettis Road, and a portion of property located at 8001 Warbler Way, approximately 620 feet northeast of Nolensville Pike. This is 28.71 acres to permit 230 multifamily residential units and a fire station. It has a companion bill, but there are two substitutes, Mr. Rutherford, which are substantially different, so we're going to have to take them separately. Mr. Rutherford, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. Committee reports.
Okay, Chair Gamble, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning considered this BL 2023-56. The sponsor introduced a substitute, which the committee considered and recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. The committee then recommended approval of the bill as substituted, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, thank you, Chair Gamble. Mr. Rutherford, we're back to you for a motion to get the bill before us.
Thank you. And there is a substitute and an amendment.
Oh, thank you, sir. Okay. No, actually, sir, I don't see that. I think your substitute perhaps incorporates, you have already amended.
I'm seeing amendment number 1 on the agenda.
Yes, sir.
Is that
I know.
incorporated into the substitute then?
It has already been amended. It does not say proposed amendment. I understand how that can create some confusion. We actually were having a conversation about that today. So
Okay.
it is just the proposed substitute, sir.
Then motion on the bill for purpose of hearing the substitute.
Okay. There's a motion on the bill to get it before us. Is there a second? Okay, properly moved and seconded. Back to you, sir.
Thank you. And motion on the substitute.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, we're on your substitute.
Thank you. The substitute basically brings this in line with with planning and the amendment that we were discussing that is now part of this. It relates to construction traffic, makes it a condition of approval. Construction traffic will flow from Pettis Road to the property through the first existing crossing of a creek. That was something that was important to the neighborhood next door, and that is also something that was brought about by community engagement that actually took place here after the public hearing at our last meeting. So I was happy to see that and happy that we were able to bring all of this in line. So that,
Okay. You have heard an explanation of the substitute, which is properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on the substitute, the motion to substitute? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of the substitute, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, so we're back to you for a motion on your bill as substituted.
I move approval of the bill as substituted.
Is there a second? Great. Any discussion on the bill as substituted? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this has passed final reading as substituted. Next, the companion bill, which also had a substitute, so we had to take it separately, is Agenda Item 63, Ordinance BL 2023-57. Also sponsor Rutherford. This is an ordinance authorizing material restrictions and requirements for Bill 2023-56. Go ahead, Mr. Rutherford.
Thank you again, Madam President. I move approval of the bill to hear the substitute.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, it's properly before us, sir. Go ahead.
Motion on the substitute.
Okay, also seconded. Go ahead.
Thank you. This basically, similar explanation brings it in line with planning, and this is in relation to building materials and restrictions, so it lines up with the previous bill that we just passed. And it's just a reminder, this does include, this property includes the property that will be donated to Metro for the purposes of a fire station. So that gives it this extra meaning, if you will, to this overall proposal, which included these two bills plus two others that we had on consent. So just wanted to add that in there for the explanation for the members to know what this is about. And so with that, I renew my motion for approval of the substitute.
Okay, is there any discussion on the substitute? Seeing none, all in favor of the substitute, please say aye. Okay, any voting no or abstaining? Okay, now we're back to you.
Motion on the bill as substituted.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, properly moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of the bill as substituted, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this also has passed third reading.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Rutherford. Okay. All right, next on third reading is Agenda Item 68, Ordinance BL 2024-428, sponsors Coupon, Porterfield, Allen, and Swara. This is an ordinance approving, ratifying, and adopting Chapter 68 of the Private Acts of 2024, authorizing the establishment of an East Bank Development Authority. Mr. Coupon, you are recognized,
Move
sir.
approval with a brief comment, please.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Ever so brief, but want to reiterate my thanks to Chief Development Officer Mendez and Mayor O'Connell and the entire team that worked on this. This is a big lift to get a private act through the state and then through the council, and appreciate all their efforts and energy and foresight to make sure that this is a project that has consistency and support for a long period of time as we develop the East Bank. So again, appreciate all their efforts, and I urge my colleagues to support this measure.
Okay, there's a motion to approve, properly seconded. Colleagues, this requires 27 votes, and so we'll try it by voice first, but you need to be clear in your voice, please, when you make your vote. Is there any discussion on the motion to approve? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no? Any abstaining? Okay, this is passed unanimously on third reading. Okay, next is Agenda Item 69, Ordinance BL 2024-429, 448, sponsor Stiles. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from SCR to SP zoning for properties located at 5244, 5246, 5260 Hickory Hollow Parkway, 927 Bell Road, 5178, 5234 Mount View Road, and Mount View Road unnumbered at the western corner of Mount View Road and Rural Hill Road. This is 57.22 acres and partially within a planned unit development district to permit mixed-use development. Okay, Ms. Stiles, you are recognized on your bill.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Committee reports? Does this come back?
Okay, yep. Chair Gamble, you're recognized.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning considered 448 and the sponsored substitute. Recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And then we considered the bill as substituted, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Ms. Gamble, could you go ahead also and give me a report on agenda item 70, 2024-449, which is the companion bill? And since we have a singular substitute, once substituted, we could take these bills together in the final motion, okay?
Okay, great, yes, thank you. We also considered 449, recommended approval, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Stiles, so it is back to you. I think, do you want to do a consolidated motion at this time? Well, yeah, okay. So, Ms. Stiles, to get them before us, you can do a consolidated motion for 2024-448 and 449 because they are companion bills to each other. So if you begin with that, please, ma'am.
I would like to have a consolidated approval for 448 and 449, please.
Okay, Ms. Stiles has moved approval of both bills. Is there a second? Okay, properly moved and seconded. So Ms. Stiles is before us now, and if you'll just be clear in your motion that the substitute is for 448, okay?
Okay, so I'd like to move the substitute for 448, and then can I put one, if that gets approved, then I can put 448 and 449 together?
Correct, that's already the motion that's before us. Yep.
Okay. Can I give a brief comment? I would like to move the substitute. Yes.
Is there a second on the motion to substitute 448? Okay, go ahead, Ms. Stiles.
I just want to say in advance, I would appreciate my colleagues' approval. This is finally the Global Mall getting approved and able to move forward. Hallelujah. So I'm going to throw to Mr. Withers on the substitute for 448.
Okay, Mr. Withers from the Planning Department, you're recognized for an explanation of the substitute, please, sir. Or Ms. Milligan.
Or Milligan.
Yep, sure. Go ahead, please, ma'am.
Hi, it adds the Planning Commission conditions of approval. So this is a standard process. Whenever a bill is introduced in advance of being heard by the Planning Commission, there will always be a substitute to follow up to get those conditions included.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Milligan. Anything further, Ms. Stiles?
Nope.
Okay, so there is a motion to substitute Bill 448. It's properly seconded. Is there any discussion on the substitute? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, so we are going to go back to you, and if you'll just do a consolidated motion for 448 as substituted and its companion bill 449.
I would like to move approval for amended Bill 448 and 449, please. And I thank you all in advance.
Okay, properly seconded. Is there any discussion on either of these bills? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, both these bills have passed third reading.
Thank you.
All right, agenda item 73, ordinance BL 2024-452 is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws. It's sponsored Coupon, the zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by adding the East Bank Sub-District to Chapter 17.37 Downtown Code. downtown code. Okay. Mr. Coupin, you're recognized, sir.
Move the bill, please.
Okay. Do you want to get your committee report
Committee
first,
reports would be
please?
great.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Gamble, Chair Gamble. Oh, I'm sorry, Chair. Go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning considered Councilmember Coopin's substitute, voted in favor, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. And then we considered the bill as substituted, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
Okay. So it's back to you, Mr. Coupin, to get the bill before us, sir.
Move the bill.
Okay. Is there a second? Okay. Mr. Coupin has moved approval, properly seconded, and it's back to you for a motion on your
Move the
substitute.
substitute, please.
Okay, properly moved and seconded on the substitute. Okay, is there any discussion on the substitute? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of the substitute, please say aye. Okay, any voting no or abstaining? Nope. Okay, Mr. Coupin, last thing, motion on your bill as substituted, please, sir.
Move the bill as substituted, please.
Okay, properly moved and seconded. Any discussion on the bill as substituted? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, this has passed third reading. Okay, next is agenda item 79 and 80, which we can take together because they are companion bills. These are ordinance BL 2024-458 and 459, sponsor Harrell. This is an ordinance to amend Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, the zoning ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County by changing from AR2A and R8 to SP zoning for property located at 6103 Mount View Road at the northwest corner of Hamilton Church Road and Mount View Road. This is 22.18 acres to permit 92 single-family lots. And ordinance 459 is authorizing building material restrictions and requirements for ordinance 458. Vice Chair Harrell, you are recognized, sir.
Thank you, Madam Vice Mayor. I would like to move to defer both of these items for one meeting.
Okay, let's first get your committee reports, sir. Chair Gamble, go ahead.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Planning and Zoning recommended approval on both 458 and 459, 9 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting.
And I apologize, so you recommended approval in committee?
As in committee, yes.
Okay, got it. Okay. So it's back to you, sir, for a motion to defer, I believe you said?
Yeah, I would like to make a motion to defer with a brief comment.
Okay, so there is a motion to defer both these bills. Was it one meeting, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is there a second for the motion to defer? Okay. Back to you, sir, for an explanation.
Okay, so there were some items that, after speaking with NDOT and planning, that we did not have in the legislation. And prior to me moving forward with it, I would like to have that verbiage added. So we're deferring one meeting.
Okay. You've heard Mr. Harrell's explanation for the one meeting deferral on both these bills. Properly seconded. Is there any discussion on the deferral? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of a one meeting deferral for both of these bills, please say aye. Any voting no or abstaining? Okay, these bills are deferred one meeting. And that concludes our agenda. Our next council meeting will be on Tuesday, September 3rd. Is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, we are adjourned.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.